help me grow the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to cover custom skyboxes. So we're going to jump out of Unity for a second, and we're going to look at this right here. As you can see, tinyurl.com, easy skybox. So I'll copy this just to put it in my actual browser, and I'll hit paste and then hit enter, and it'll open this site right here. Now this is just an ad, don't worry about that. This site is free to use, and you can use it in your games. I checked to make sure that you were able to do this, but you can look more into it if you'd like. Here you can change settings, change them as you see fit, or you can just click random seed to generate new skies that you can use within your game. So I'm just going to click this until I see one I like. This one looks kind of cool. So once you have that, you can select what size or resolution it is. I'm going to pick 2048, and it'll change the resolution for me. Then I go to download Skybox. Once I click download Skybox, it's going to pop up. Once it pops up, I'm going to go ahead and say OK or save to save the Skybox. Here it'll go to my downloads. I can click the folder right here. So if I click downloads, whatever Chrome or whatever browser you have, you just click your downloads, or you open a folder to go to your downloads and you open your folder. Once you do that, you can see right here you have your Skybox zip folder. We just want one file out of this, so we double click to open this, and we see cube map. Here we drag this cube map to our downloads, and it'll recreate it right here for us. And we can take this and drag it into Unity. So I'll minimize this, and I'll go to my folders over here. So if I'm not on my folders, I'll just do that right here. And I'll select that folder for my downloads, and I'll drag this into my Unity Skybox folder. And now we'll get this cube map. So I'm going to change this to call it like custom sky 01, something like that. And then I need to do one more step before I can drop it onto my scene. So I'll need to select this, go to the top right here. So with this selected, not these, but the one we added, the custom skybox, we'll change this 2D to cube. And then we say at the bottom down here, we scroll down and hit apply. And this will finalize it so we can drop it onto our sky. And now we have a custom sky that we can use. And the final step we could do is add a script to this to rotate it. So to do the final step, we need to drag the material onto the sky, and it'll create this material folder. Once it creates that material folder, we can double click here and click this and change this from Skybox to custom Skybox rotatable. And then we'll go to our Skybox folder, one up right here, and we'll drag our cube map for it in here. And now we have a Skybox that's on a rotatable Skybox script. Essentially, it's this script right here. It's a shader that allows us to rotate the sky. And if we select this, we can see it's got a different setting here. But the last thing we need to do to make it work is add a cube to our scene. And we'll go 3D object cube, or we could add an empty if we wanted. So we can add a 3D object create empty. We'll call this Skybox rotation. And this is just a placeholder for the script that's going to dictate how the rotation occurs. So we'll go back into our Skybox here with our Skybox rotate script right here, the C# script, and we'll drag this onto our Skybox rotation, and you'll see this pop up. Once this is here, we can change our number right here, so we can change it like 21 or something, and then we'll hit play to test it, and then it should start rotating the sky, which is what we're looking for. And then I'll show you how to adjust the brightness as well. So you can see it's kind of fast if you put 21. So be careful not to make it too fast. I'll put like 2 or 1, and you'll see it'll start to slow down and rotate like a normal sky, like in a game. So here you can see the sky's now rotating on the y-axis. And if we wanted to set this setting how we want, what we can do is we can hit escape, alt-tab, this to leave the camera where I want. So escape and then alt-tab. And then right here I can change this setting to get different results that I'm looking for. So if I wanted it to rotate in other directions, I could do that, but I need to make sure these are allowed before I check them on to be allowed. And then here I can put like 5, or we'll just put 20 to test it. So you can see here, but check them all on, but then I leave zeros and I pick the one I want, it'll rotate in different directions based on what I choose. So if I choose different directions, it'll rotate differently, and I can combine them to get different results as well. So it's all on how you want to set that up, but that's how you can make your sky background rotate. And then once you have your setting how you want it, you right click and you go copy component, and then you turn off play, and then you just paste it as component values. And now it should save what you had there. So whenever you play, it will have that rotation that you're looking for. And you can see here, we've got our sky rotating. And if it looks a little dark, you can adjust this by going Alt Tab to leave it there. And then we'll select our folder down here where we had our skybox, our cube map, and then our folder that it created. This right here will let us have an exposure setting, or we can push that exposure up to brighten the sky if we want to make it a little bit brighter. And that's how you can get a custom sky within your game, like you see here. So just use the video to set up the skies however you would like to set them up, and make sure to set up your lights how you would like the scene to look as well. So hope you enjoyed the video, subscribe and follow, and I'll see you later.